Godzilla Doom Island. What was said to be the biggest and baddest Godzilla set in existence from Trendmasters was very quickly shot down and cancelled. After the oversaturation of the market of Godzilla 98 figures, toy stores were trying to get rid of those before they got anything else Godzilla related. So most of what was made of Godzilla vs. Doom Island was either auctioned off, lost, or given to fans as contest prizes. The three you see before you were essentially just made up, painted, and used for taking pictures. These were essentially never boxed up. Them and their accompanying dinosaur sets really never saw life inside of a box, only inside the main HQ of TM. Trendmasters. So obviously I'm not going to talk about these three dudes all together at once. I mean, I'm going to talk about all of them within the video, but we're going to do it one by one. So by all means, let's get started on King Ghidorah. For a figure that was essentially unfinished in some way, shape, or form, I don't know which way this guy is unfinished, he looks pretty dang good. Something that the Doom Island set was set to be known for, aside from being the biggest and baddest Godzilla set from Trendmasters ever, was the presence of black wash. Black wash on the figures would appear on their bodies, their necks, their heads, really giving it a very stylistic look. I guess I might as well go over articulation first before we talk about the rest of the set. So King Ghidorah can swivel at the top of his neck. And they can also, well, this guy can look a little bit down and very much up, as you can see. These can't really look up or down too much. Oh, I didn't even realize that. The necks can spin at the base as well. Yeah, in all my time of having these, I never noticed that. Not once. I guess mainly just because I was really just too afraid to mess about with these guys, but they can move at the base of their necks. The figure can also move its wings. God. Yeah, the wings can flap. This wing's not flapping because of the tail, but yeah, the wings can flap like so. You're also going to get minor articulation in the legs. I mean, this one can go all the way around. This one cannot. This one feels like it was glued in place. And you can get articulation in the tail. So the King Ghidorah set comes with two major raptors and a pterodactyl. First, we're going to be talking about this pterodactyl. First off, I really want to talk about the paint on this thing. I love the purple speckle on top of the wings. I love the shading that was done on the bottom of the wings over here. The overall color palette of this thing is a very dark brown and a very dark green with more of that pink speckle on the crest over here. Let's see if we can take a closer look. Oh yeah, look at that. He looks great. Now you see a hinge for the jaw, but I can't really get the jaw to work or move for that matter. That's pretty much all I can get out of it. I think that might have been all that was intended for it. I mean, look at that speckle. Jesus. I'm sorry. Other than that, the legs can move a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I got a little bit of paint smudge right there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Essentially, the pterodactyl is one of my favorite dinosaurs to be included with this set. And here are the raptors. They kind of look like they were stained in Chef Boyardee sauce. So these two different builds of raptors would be seen across the other two sets as well. King Ghidorah is the only one to have both of the raptors in his set. But as you can see, they are orange, they are red, and they have some primo black wash. So we're going to zoom in for a closer look on that. Would you look at that? My God, these things look amazing. The black wash on the heads, that's where it really shines off the detail of these figures. I mean, let's see if we could turn this guy around real quick. Like, look at that. That just looks awesome. This guy's got a little bit more black wash on his head than the other guy does, and he's got more black wash on his body as well. Like, just look at that. This was meant for kids. This is like collector grade levels of detail. Look at those teeth. Look at that tongue. They're all individually sculpted and painted, and spoiler alert, they look great. I just love how the raptors in this series look. This leg, I believe it was this leg, does have a bit of like a spring-loaded thing going on here, and I do believe the tail, yes, the tail is articulated. That arm's not really all that articulated. This arm's a little bit more articulated, and so is the head. Now, the reason why these would be labeled as prototypes is mainly because they were never finished. Again, these were made solely for taking pictures of, nothing more, so all of their gimmicks aren't 100% complete. Although that could be for all the figures. I might be wrong in that department, because I don't think any of the figures were officially finished. Let's bring the other raptor in here. I mean, just look at that. I am a sucker for black wash on figures, and these figures really do look friggin' amazing. Oh, that black wash just totally pops the detail. Again, these were essentially considered kids' toys. These look way too good to be kids' toys. All right, so that is it for the Mecha-King Ghidorah set. Let's take a look at the Mecha-Godzilla set. And here is Mecha-Godzilla, sporting a design that really isn't. I mean, I guess you could say the head was somewhat inspired by the original Mecha-Godzilla, but everything else, I mean, look at this. This is so cool. It's so different. Like, that's just awesome. I'm glad Trendmasters really went out of their way to give fans something new with their Godzilla stuff. Even their own takes on certain monster designs. This figure has a lot more articulation than the King Ghidorah figure had, mainly because he has arms. We got articulation in the legs. There we go. We have articulation in this very strange tail of his. And of course, we have articulation in the head. You know, now that I think about it, I think this essential design of Mechagodzilla might have been inspired by the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 theater poster. His face kind of does have like that angular, whatever you want to call it. It's just the hands are really, really tiny. And they're not guns. But anyway, let's take a look at the dinosaurs that were included with Mechagodzilla. So yet again, we have a raptor. This is essentially the same raptor that I just showed off. Just, you know, different levels of black wash on him. He's not so much the draw of this set aside from Mechagodzilla. The draw of this set would be the Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus from this set is freaking amazing. Let's zoom things in for a better look, huh? So we've got two different kinds of speckle on this guy. We've got the black speckle, and up here on his dorsal plates / spines, we have purple speckle and a little bit of black speckle. But let's get back down to ground level here. The detail on the face is fantastic. Lots of that speckle here. I really love the clashing of the gray and the orange. These teeth aren't individually sculpted. They're kind of running on a Bondi teeth track, as I like to call them. Moving along to the side of the figure, again, the black speckle, the orange clashing with the gray, looks fantastic. Has some very nice white toenails going on. Moving over to the clubbed tail, we've got more of that dark speckle as well as purple on the top of the tail over here. Really liking that the tips of these are black with speckle at the bottom. And it's pretty much the same thing throughout the figure. Although I would say this side of his face has a lot more speckle than the other side. What's all this? Is that a yellow fingerprint? My goodness. I'm joking, I knew that was there. But I really wanted to focus on the dorsal plates back here because, again, I really, really love that very purple pink speckle that they have going on the plates. Seriously, it just looks so very awesome. As you can see here, this particular dorsal spike was supposed to activate something in the figure. But again, the gimmicks aren't fully worked out or realized with this set. But I imagine it would have made the tail do something, or one of the legs, probably the tail, because, yeah. See? The tail kind of has like that spring-loaded feel to it. Meanwhile, the legs are just kind of stiff, but they are, you know, they can be articulated with. Oh god, that guy's stiff. That is essentially it for the Mecha-Godzilla set. Now let's look into the Godzilla set. Oh, fuck. And here's the good old King of Monsters himself. This is essentially just a sized-down version of the 10-inch roaring Godzilla. It's the same mold, just with a different paint job and at a different size. With that being said, you're essentially going to get the same kind of articulation with him, you know? You can move the arms, look at that. So nice, so smooth, easy breezy, beautiful Godzilla girl. There you go. Oh, there you go. And you can, you know, you can, yeah, look at that. And then you can move the tail all the way around as well. Very basic stuff, but I just love the paint scheme that they went with on this guy. The very light gray with the dark wash on him. He just looks so very cool, and the red eye really pops on this guy. I really like the muted blue silver that they used for the dorsal plates and for the tail as well. This is just such a cool look for Godzilla. But anyway, let's see who Godzilla will be facing off against. If you guessed that Godzilla would be facing off against another Velociraptor, you are correct. There is yet another Velociraptor included with Godzilla. But that is not the main draw of this set. Oh no. The main draw of this set would be the T-Rex, at least for me. Now, these sets aren't just known as Godzilla Doom Island Battle Action Playset or anything like that. They're actually known as Godzilla vs. T-Rex Battle Set. Mecha-Godzilla vs. Stegosaurus Battle Set. Mecha-King Ghidorah vs. Pterodon or Pterodactyl Set. The Raptors were just a bonus. These were the main villains that the monsters would be facing off against. And, I mean, just look at this. We got a light green with pinkish, orange-ish dots, a little bit of blue as well. That is such a cool color combination for T-Rex, something that was known as the king and queen of the dinosaurs. Jesus. So obviously the jaw can open and close. That was part of yet another unfinished gimmick that the figure was supposed to have. Don't want to scratch no paint now. As you can see, you can move the arms, and yes, they can go all the way around. You can move the legs as well, but I don't really want to push this thing. But you can get it into some pretty good poses. Oh, look at the stomach. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that black wash on that yellow. That looks ultra good. And you can move the tail as well. I believe the tail is what activated the gimmick, I think. And that is essentially it for the Godzilla vs. T-Rex set. For a set that was boasting to be the biggest and baddest set from Trendmasters, the gods of 90s toys, this is one hell of a glimpse into what could have been. Of course, there is a bunch of unreleased Godzilla Doom Island stuff that has made it to the web, both as prototypes or finished prototypes. This toy line was essentially going to reset everything that Trendmasters had did before with a brand new and even more stylistic approach to it. Literally everything that came before them with some new stuff would be included in this set, and it breaks my heart to see that it essentially went unreleased. There is so much from the Godzilla Doom Island set that is so very hard to find, and if you do find it, it's never cheap. But anyway, this has been the complete Trendmasters Godzilla vs. set. I do hope you enjoyed. Of course, I did videos for all three of these sets at one point, but I really wanted to bring them into the new setup and really showcase them in a much better way. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all later in the week with the final Trendmasters Godzilla video for Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews. Won't be the final Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews video, but it'll be the last featuring a Trendmasters figure until I pick up more. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you all next time. Bye-bye.